I want to make the game that I've been waiting 25 years to play. Transformers War for Cybertron really started with a sketch of Bumblebee, and we redesigned that character to modernize it all up to be much more of a realistic adult version. That was that first sketch that we slid across the table to Hasbro and said, what do you guys think? And that's where it all started.
I think the approval process for Hasbro, especially nerve-wracking. In a sense, it's like George Lucas looking at you redesigning Luke Skywalker.
My name is Aaron Archer. I'm a senior design director, and I oversee the Transformers universe for Hasbro. Activision came to Hasbro and said they wanted to make a kind of a breakthrough game, definitely a gamer game. And the original idea was, we've had a couple games that were based on Earth. How about going to Cybertron? And that's a really cool place. It's the home planet of the Transformers. And the early days of that civil war between the Autobots and Decepticons was a story that really hadn't been fleshed out in any format.
Hasbro has been fantastic to work with. What they've allowed us to do is take a licensed property and treat it like a brand new IP.
To see it grow beyond what our imaginations at Hasbro could be, to be additive to that universe is fantastic.
They've taken such a keen interest in what we've put together that my confidence that fans are going to love what story we're telling is extremely high, because it's got that Hasbro stamp on it as this is it. It's an amazing opportunity for us at High Moon Studios to work on creating the canon for what Transformers are going forward. Transformers War for Cybertron takes place on Cybertron. It's their backstory of what they were doing and how they became to be before they ever came to Earth.
Because we're not tied to a movie, we're able to tell our own story. This is the Transformers game that they've been waiting for the last 20 years. It's based on the G1 universe. We're showing how Optimus rises into his leadership position.
All those things were really cool to explore and build from that people wouldn't expect yet. You know, it's all fuzzy. We all kind of think we know, but you're really going to see it here.
I was thrilled. I think we were all thrilled to design Cybertron. As much as a paradigm of science fiction as Star Wars or Star Trek, it influenced all of our childhoods and probably, you know, our career paths as artists. I'd say the influences for developing the art is really the original Generation 1 animated series and the film. On top of that, there's elements of Tron and Blade Runner and Aliens and the grittier, more textural science fiction films that I think influenced all of us.
I think Transformers fans will like this game because we took it seriously, we took the property seriously. We have almost a reverence for the original. It takes something that you may have had a fondness for as a kid and a really kind of violent, dark, adult style that I think people that are into games like Call of Duty will be able to get into.
I think people are going to be blown away by the effort. I just can't wait to get the ball rolling. This won't be the only touch point. It's a big place that we're going to build off of.
It's been a fantastic experience to revisit all those childhood memories, gather the resource from the huge lore that is Transformers, and then shape that into basically a brand new vision of what Transformers are in a way that people haven't seen before.
My name is Aaron Archer. I'm a senior design director, and I oversee the Transformers universe for Hasbro. Everyone knows that Optimus leads the Autobots and Megatron leads the Decepticons, and they've battled for years, whether it be on Earth or in space or on Cybertron. But we never really started at the root of that conflict. It's a really unique time and place for the story, so that's really where we started.
Megatron is the hero of the story, or at least that's what he'll tell you. He will do whatever it takes to get Cybertron back to what he thinks of as the golden age of Cybertron. Starscream is not a Decepticon when this story starts, and by the end of the first level, he says, you know what, I'm in. I want to be a Decepticon. What we come to find out across the course of the story is why Megatron keeps him as his second-hand man. For me, it's one of the most exciting story points that we tell in the whole story. With the Autobot campaign, we begin the story where Megatron is poised to take over Cybertron, and Optimus is not the guy in charge. He is kind of a field commander who has self-promoted himself to take up this mantle of defending their homeworld because nobody else is left. And so he's gathering guys to help him. One of the first guys to sign up under Optimus's banner is Bumblebee. And seeing that kind of happen and how those two colossal characters in the Transformer lore meet up, sign up, and ultimately become friends and comrades through all time happens very early in our campaign.
I think this game is visually stunning and plays out this great story with these great characters in a way that even I'm very impressed with.
Transformers has always been about choice. Do you choose to be an Autobot or do you choose to be a Decepticon? Hasbro tells us that for every single Decepticon toy they sell an Autobot toy, right? So fans are really split right down the middle. As a result, when you put that disc in, you can start with Autobot 1 or you can start with Decepticon 1. If I play the Decepticon campaign first, I really am playing through in chronological order, but if I want to play Autobots first, absolutely you can do that, and the story is really cool and makes sense, and you're going to have a great time. You do very, very different things in each campaign. Every level of our game is 100% co-op. You always have two buddies with you. You can hop in when we're playing on live with your friends, can join in, join out whenever you want. What fans are going to get out of this game that they're not expecting is some really big boss fights.
You're fighting guys that are, smaller than you and guys that are 200 times bigger than you. The attacks are switching up and you're having to adapt and react, and there's even boss fights where they're manipulating the environment against you.
I'm a Decepticon at heart, so I always play the Decepticon campaign first if given the choice. Honestly, it really is about your personal preference.
Transformers War for Cybertron was developed from day one with multiplayer in mind.
It was about giving hardcore gamers that multiplayer experience that they were craving in Transformers format. The central kind of guiding principle is using the skills and abilities and the vehicle that I have to my best advantage and coming up with strategies that are effective for me personally in the map, but also for me as a team.
Transformers multiplayer has a variety of different gameplay modes. We had the standard deathmatch and team deathmatch, and then we have power struggle. I have my favorite game mode, which is Countdown to Extinction.
But in our game, when you get into some of the more objective-based maps like Capture the Flag, if you don't work as a team, you won't survive. What's different is all about reorganizing your thinking based on vehicles, using those skills and not using those skills, and how you combo those things together. So we allow you to expand on the strategies that you use based on vehicles in the maps that we have.
As you play and gain levels, you're going to unlock new things to try out. Maybe those new things are weapons, new abilities, new perks, maybe even unlock a new character to play as. Those are things that players can look forward to as they play our game.
It's been a real fun challenge for us to craft super tight multiplayer maps in the Transformer universe. And I believe that we did a great job with that. And I think when fans get in there and they start mixing it up, they're going to have a good time.
The one big feature that we wanted to add, which all the fans have been asking for, is customization. We've allowed the player to customize their own characters by giving them 4 classes to choose from. They're scouts, scientists, soldiers, and leaders.
The 4 character classes that we have are really catered to the very different kinds of gamers. If you're a very fast twitch, you've got really great reflexes, I think the scout, the car is going to be the class for you. If you're all about the team, it's the leader class, it's the trucks. If you're kind of like me, I take the soldier because I can take the most damage and I can deal the most damage. And then finally, if you're that really crafty, strategic, finesse type player, it's the scientist, it's the jet, because I've got the sniper rifle and I've got abilities that change my color scheme, make me undetectable. So I get the character looking the way that I want, and I get to take 2 weapons with me into combat.
Weapons that are great. You have rocket launchers, plasma cannons, assault rifles, sniper rifles, mines, grenades, you name it, we have it.
There's a whole host of abilities that you're going to get to pick from. Scouts get to cloak and turn invisible. Soldiers get this whirlwind 360 high damage attack. And I can choose 2 triggerable abilities. I also then get to choose 3 innate abilities. So the skills and the choices that you have to make are going to push you, I believe, to be making multiple trucks, multiple cars, multiple planes, and multiple tanks to suit your different playstyles and the way that you want to play.